time I've been going through such pain and personal anguish. Such hell! For nothing!
Hi everyone and welcome to Priority Holder, and today we'll be playing Mono Red Devotion in the Timeless format. And the way we're working with Devotion in this deck is with Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, and so the more red pips we have, the more mana this can generate. And so the way we're sort of trying to cheat that is by playing 8 red ley lines, so 4 Leyline of Combustion, 4 Leyline of Lightning. And this actually sort of doubles as a win condition. Oh yeah, and the ley lines, if they're in your opening hand, they go into play for free. So it's a way you can sort of build up Devotion really quickly. They are admittedly very clunky, but they can deal some damage to the opponent on their own. So we have those, and other ways to develop early Devotion is Experimental Synthesizer, which is not at its best in this deck because we have a high curve, but it can provide a little bit of utility. And probably the best way to develop Devotion is with Spiteful Banditry because it plays defense, generates treasures, and adds to Devotion, so this works really well. We are playing Roiling Vortex to combat Show and Tell, but it's a very situational card. This is a slow deck, so it's often actively bad for us. And so with all these sort of situational and clunky cards, I'm running March of Reckless Joy, which lets us exile top X and play up to 2 of them until our next turn. And you can pitch a bunch of red cards into it to up the X value. And so we can pitch the situational cards or cards that are bad to try and find more relevant pieces. And Valakut Awakening is in there for a similar reason. Running 1 ring to sort of fog things out and just dig for appropriate pieces. And our 2 main closers are Chandra, Torch of Defiance, which sort of does a little bit of everything, and Chandra Awakened Inferno, which notably has a +2 that sticks an emblem that dings the opponent. So it eventually will close it out, but yeah, let's jump into some games. Now this is a pretty decent hand. Double ley lines, so we'll be able to juice up Nykthos pretty quickly. We'll have to see whether this is a good Spiteful Banditry matchup though. So 2 ley lines. We're on the draw, so we'll see what happens. Alright, the opponent's going to crack the fetch. And Sylvan Scrying, grabbing Castle Garenbrig. So it really seems like we're playing against Titan. That's a type of play you'd maybe expect to see from them. Trying to accelerate to 6 mana. And this basically certifies it right here, Fierce Empath. Now I'm going to go ahead and bolt it right here. It's not a big threat in and of itself, but it's a natural order fodder, so better to get rid of it. But the opponent does have a Titan in hand. We are able to get a turn 3 Chandra though, so be able to make something happen. Gonna go ahead and just start dealing some damage. Yeah, we can't cast that. And alright, another Sylvan Scrying. Alright, Sunken Citadel. Really accelerates stuff like Castle Garenbrig, so we gotta get busy doing something. Spiteful Banditry is not amazing right now. We have nothing better to do, so might as well cast the Bolt. And I'm trying to decide how aggro to go right here, if we should play the second Chandra and decide it's probably worth it. We're gonna just try and hurry and kill them. We are sacrificing a little bit of loyalty, so it is a trade-off because the other one would have been able to ultimate sooner. But it didn't. Sometimes you want to spew off a Spiteful Banditry for Devotion, but knowing Titan was coming and therefore Field of the Dead, it didn't seem like the right move to get rid of a Spiteful Banditry. Now I almost played that mountain, which would have been a massive mistake.
This'll be easy.
I guess I could have done it differently. I end up realizing here that we don't have enough to actually kill the Titan unless we double Nykthos, so it might have been better to just Chandra for mana. Because as it stands, we have to sort of spew off a Nykthos right here, but we're not really doing much else, so go ahead and use the second Nykthos to get up to enough mana to nuke everything with Spiteful Banditry. The nice thing is that this Spiteful Banditry is going to fuel the next one with its Devotion. As far as, if we need to kill another Titan. Alright, the opponent does have another Titan. And they get 2 more Field of the Deads. So, fortunately, we're pretty well equipped to battle Titan on these terms. Yeah. good, efficient board reset for them, but we can send them back to the Stone Ages right away. Trying to decide what to do. Like, do we want to play the One Ring right now? The decision trees get a little tricky in this, especially like with Chandra having so many good options. Definitely going to Spiteful Banditry. Doesn't seem like ideal to let them attack with the Titan and like get some maybe other extra utility I've packed in there. So, not to mention to get, yeah, it just, I don't know. Maybe we could have tried to just use ring protection to buy more time. Alright, so opponent finds another Fierce Empath with Once Upon a Time. And I'm shocked when they don't pull out a Titan, but that must mean they have like one in hand and they want to keep the one in the deck for this natural order right here. So I'm assuming they have another one in hand based on the Fierce Empath not putting a Titan into the hand. So we need something right now. But so what I'm trying to figure out, so we can ultimate Chandra potentially. And I'm trying to figure out if I have enough mana to actually execute a Chandra emblem kill. And I realized that we could probably get there. So what Chandra's emblem does, whenever you cast a spell, it deals 5 to any target. So make sure to crack the treasures first to spare our devotion. Now we're going to fire up Nykthos, play another Leyline of Combustion. Chandra's going to ding them. And lastly, we could fire off Valakut Awakening and ding them again. So a pretty awesome win against Titan. So yeah, if you like seeing Titan get slapped around, please Hyperion Blacksmith the like button. Thank you, and we're on to the next one. No Leylines, so the hand is sort of automatically worse. We'll have to see if the Spiteful Banditries are good in this matchup. Deathrite Shaman. And you know, so we have 2 of our Chandras. Don't have like Nykthos in sight currently. Opponent passes with a lot of available mana. Gonna just pass. Bowmasters comes down. And they're gonna ding us. It's just, this is where the deck is pretty lackluster. Like, it's just sort of slow. It has a lot of clunky cards. Alright, Troll. Getting a Swamp. And Nightmare Snare unfolding. They're going to reanimate the Troll. They're falling all the way down to 9, but they're putting like quite a clock against us. Now I'm having a hard time right here deciding how many cards to pitch, and like if we should leave 1 mana open in case we get a Bolt. Ultimately decide to just fish for 3 cards and try and maybe dig our way to like a One Ring or a Nykthos. So we did find a Spiteful Banditry, and it seems worth firing off now to build up devotion and just to take a little heat off ourselves, not to mention it's going to generate a treasure. But that Troll is a big problem. Like, we're a little ways away from dealing with that. And it would have been nice if we could have also taken out the Deathrite Shaman, but the opponent has had a very explosive start. Another Deathrite is tough because of the damage dealing mode it has, and we already fall to 11 off the first Troll attack. Trying to figure out what to do, and it seems at this point we should use Spiteful Banditry to take care of the Deathrite Shamans. Yeah, the opponent's going to use one of them to ding us. And that's going to get us 2 more treasures, so like, I mean, we're sort of getting there. Like, if we slam Big Chandra, Big Chandra can take down the Troll, at the very least, so we're like almost stabilizing. Thoughtseize is really tough. They actually take Torch of Defiance, which I think was the incorrect choice. Maybe they're not familiar with Chandra Awakened Inferno. Roiling Vortex is not amazing here. But we're just hoping that we could stabilize right here, because Chandra has like a variable damage dealer as the her ultimate. And so we're gonna deal 5 and thankfully exile the Troll so they can't just reanimate it again. And praying that this is enough to stabilize, but the opponent has Orcish Bowmasters, so They're going to ding us, attack in for 2, and we are dead. So that was unfortunate. It felt like we were super close to stabilizing, but just had a really clunky opening few turns. We do have one Leyline, and we're going to have to definitely play Valakut as a land. So building up devotion. If the opponent targets us, they're going to be dinged a few times. Now, blue-green surveil lands is like pretty telltale that we're playing against show and tell. Hoping to spike a land right there, but we end up nabbing a 6-drop. Experimental Synthesizer is not at its best in our deck because we have such a high curve. Like, it is like a fast way to develop devotion, and it has some utility, but it is definitely not optimized in our deck. Alright, impulse from the opponent. Really, they're getting to set up all they want. We're just not really doing anything. Oh man, it'd be so nice to play the One Ring, but we only have 3 mana right now. So I'm trying to decide whether or not to crack Synthesizer, but you know, we wouldn't be able to play the card anyway. Alright, well, so far so good. Opponent passes turn 3 without doing anything. Now it seems like we have to crack it here to fish for a land, and we miss. Just get a little Constellation Samurai. That's pretty disappointing because we have like all 4 mana cards in hand. And opponent's just going to do whatever they want over there. And we've given them so much setup time, and like we haven't found our 4th land. It's looking pretty bad. Alright, Dark Ritual into Dark Ritual on the other side. Let's see what they do. Demonic Tutor. That probably means one of the pieces of show and tell is found. Now, the sad thing is that the One Ring only gets ring protection if you cast it. So, like, sticking it in right now is not really, like, profitable. Alright, so opponent is going to do this sort of card draw, Song and Dance with Dig Through Times and Lorien Revealed and Atraxas, and they end up finding the Mastermind's Acquisition to execute the combo, and we pack it in. So that was a tough one. We'll see if we can rally this game. Leyline of Lightning. So we haven't seen this one in play yet. I honestly am starting to hate that card. Basically, anytime you cast a spell, it gives you target something and you can pay 1 mana to ding it for 1. Sorry, you target a player. But notice, you have to choose a target every single time, no matter how much mana you have. So, it gets really old assigning targets all the time when you not only don't intend to use it, but also times when you literally can't use it. So, alright, opponent founding the 3rd path. Now, we are playing an opponent who is heavily mulliganed, and first I thought we were playing mill, but it comes clear when they turn the mill on themselves that we're playing against Dredge. And so, we're playing against a severely hamstrung opponent. Opt to not Leyline of Lightning them, because we wanted to see if we drew anything nice. Go ahead and play Nykthos here. And we are mustering up some devotion. Roiling Vortex is a tough one. It's basically just there for like show and tell matchups. Most of the time, it's actually pretty bad for us, and very good fodder to pitch to our marches. Alright, so opponent is going to glimpse themselves and see if they can get anything going. And when they get a Narcomoeba, and they didn't even find a prized amalgam, so opponent is just struggling over there with the heavy mulligan. And as you could tell with Mono Red Devotion, we need all the help we can get, so this makes it more of a fair fight with Dredge. Keeps like 3 or 4 card hand against us, so I do think there is potential in Mono Red Devotion, but I feel like it's going to take a few more additions to like be fully realized. So we're going to fire up Valakut Awakening to try and find some more action. And we got a Chandra online now. Alright, Otherworldly Gaze, let's see. Alright, so there's a prized amalgam. Let's see if the opponent has a land drop to get Bloodghast back. Nope. Opponent's still struggling over there. Alright, so once again, the decision trees get a little tricky sometimes as far as like developing devotion and activating Nykthos, and decide it's time to try and start winning the game. Leyline of Lightning once again. I'm opting just not to pay for these. Like, we may have some excess mana by the end, but I really do not want to run out unnecessarily. So we're going to put the first big Chandra emblem on them and start trying to end this game. Decide to not pay for this one ring Leyline of Lightning. And gonna go ahead and play the Leyline of Combustion, and we have a spare mana at this point, so we will pay it. So big Chandra's emblem is gonna ding them. They do find another glimpse. Narcomoeba and Creeping Chill. That's gonna bring back the prized amalgams. Let's see if they have a land drop for the Blood Gas. Okay, so they don't have the land drop, but they are going to get Silver Smoke Ghoul and Prized Amalgam, and the opponent at some point must have milled a Wonder because they're all flying at this point. We're going to activate One Ring. We're not in any danger because we could Wrath them away with Chandra Awakened Inferno, which I was about to do right there. We decide to...
No pressure.
It does, you know, the opponent is going to have like Creeping Chills and stuff, so like they will be sort of difficult to kill. Besides, probably better just to use Spiteful Banditry here to raft the board. Leyline of Lightning once again. It's super annoying. And at this point I'm getting a little nervous, like their engines are starting to go online. Like look at their stacked graveyard, and like everything just is going to keep coming back. We have no way to police the graveyard. So yeah, getting used to targeting every single time with Leyline of Lightning. So we're doing pretty good. We have the ring going, we have a ton of devotion, we have 2 different planeswalkers, and we're trying to chip the opponent down. Alright, otherworldly gaze from the opponent. Alright, and they mill some stuff. They do find a land. Okay, so that's going to bring back the Bloodghasts, which will bring back the prized amalgam. All of which have flying. Alright, so we once again trying to hurry and close the game out at this point, and this is the tough thing with Mono Red Devotion. I feel like the shell itself is decent. It's more that the finishers are like really lacking. Like they're absolutely glacial. Aside from that, like Chandra Torch of Defiance ultimate, like that can actually end the game pretty quickly. But like trying to stack Chandra Awakened Inferno emblems on him and ding them with Leyline of Lightning, it just takes forever. So firing off the March right here just to try and get more action.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
And contemplating putting another ring down because it can get us ring protection. Another Leyline of Lightning trigger. I mean, like, despite how annoying it is, Leyline of Lightning is a win condition if you can just not die. But you could see me like just trying to piece this all together, and it's like really slow. So let me know in the comments if you have any better ideas for like finishers for Mono Red Devotion. It definitely needs some help, as you can see.
Make some more room to fight.
And when I look for finishers, I like things that tend to like persist pretty well, like enchantments and planeswalkers and artifacts and stuff. But I don't know, so many, yeah, I haven't really found a good mix. So I'm speeding through here because it took some time to execute, but eventually I was able to string off enough stuff, chip them down really low, and stack up enough Chandra emblems that the opponent is just basically dead. So the opponent's fighting the good fight, but they can't outrun the Chandra emblems. So they're going to fire off Creeping Chill. We're going to block the life gain. And yeah, the opponent's basically toast. So it took a really hamstrung Dredge to like lose this game to us. And the opponent was a great sport about it. They fought the good fight. So yeah, at this point we just need to pass the turn back to them and game's over. And honestly, like, even though that was a win, that was just honestly brutal. Like, it was really hard actually closing the game out on them. And oh look, 2 Leyline of Lightning. So now I'll be assigning those triggers twice as often, so that's... And we're facing a turn 1 Ragavan, and this is the kind of start that can really just slam us. Now we're really glad they can't play Chandra Torch of Defiance. That would have been horrible if they had just 1 more mana. Opponent already has Eidolon. Just a nightmare scenario unfolding for us right now. Doesn't seem like a good time to play Roiling Vortex. Like I said, that's mostly just in there to fight show and tell and to pitch to our march. It's actively bad for us a lot of times because we kill so slow. Now them ripping a bolt is really rough because that's going to increase the clock by a lot. So opponent is just going off and they play their own Roiling Vortex. Now we would need... Now we are so close to Chandra Awakened Inferno. At this point, of course, Leyline of Lightning is just sort of mocking us right here. Chandra gets through Eidolon, and like we had to just kill Eidolon. Like, well,
I know I'm on track.
Oh, I guess I chose to kill Ragavan. Eidolon is a pretty big problem, but Ragavan like gets the mana, gets them cards. Like, it's sort of a lose-lose situation right here. Opponent already has 4 damage on the ground. Let's see if they can muster up the rest of it. Yeah, they don't even care about Chandra Torch of Defiance. Bump in the night. Let's see if they have another burn spell. Skewer the critics. So just a massacre by burn. So we just never really got to do anything except get mocked by our Leyline of Lightnings and have Leyline of Lightning once again. Now the thing is, changed those Leyline of Lightnings last game to the other Leylines we have, and like they wouldn't have been able to like really target us with anything because they would have killed themselves so fast. So turn 1 Esper Sentinel into Thalia, and I'm just absolutely shocked right now. Now maybe I should have just killed the Esper Sentinel, but like Thalia is like incredibly bad for us. So I figured I needed to bolt Thalia because our whole deck is non-creature spells. And then it becomes very clear what we're dealing with right now with the Thorn of Amethyst on the stack. Of course, stupid Leyline of Lightning. What we are playing is the absolute nightmare matchup. And it's fun. It's funny when you run into this sometimes, you know, like the opponent is rocking Thalias and Thorn of Amethyst. I respect the hustle though, because, you know, imagine against a show and tell, you know, they play show and tell, you drop a Thorn on them, and then they can't really win. So now what happened right there is with their Anointed Peacekeeper on the stack, I actually lost connection. I managed to get back into the game soon enough to you know, rejoin before. I mean, I did lose like I think all my timeouts or some of my timeouts, so barely made it back in. But the Anointed Peacekeeper is more like annoying Peacekeeper for us, and it's really strong because its hand selection ability is while it's like on the stack or like while it's resolving, so like you can't even like wait for it to enter the battlefield and like bolt in response. So we were just getting absolutely massacred by all the taxing effects from the opponent. Not to mention, all the taxing effects are forcing us to feed right into Esper Sentinel every single time. So it's just keeping like the gas flowing for the opponent. So like I said, I totally respect the hustle from the opponent. I love what I'm seeing, and I hope that they are just basking in the tears of a lot of show and tell players. But they are just going to annihilate us this game. Like, Spiteful Banditry right now is 4 mana before you even pay an X. So, I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, it's pretty grim. So yeah, we go ahead and pack it, and we've seen enough taxes, and hope to find a more favorable matchup. All right, this time we have a Leyline of Combustion and Leyline of Lightning. So we do have like a supercharged Nykthos. All right, Mountain and Pass from the opponent is probably a good sign for us. Once again, Roiling Vortex is actively bad for us right now, especially since it's obvious we're playing against Burn. One's going to play with Fire Scry to the bottom. Let's see what they follow up with. Slick Shot Show Off is a very dangerous card, so I'm on like red alert right now. Decide, definitely going to pitch the Roiling Vortex. There's always some tension about like how much mana to leave open. Stupid Leyline of Lightning once again. Maybe this deck isn't worth playing just because of Leyline of Lightning being so annoying. Now that was a clutch draw. Like we only have like 3 bolts in here, and we happen to draw one. Though we could have played Chandra and killed the Slick Shot Show Off. Decided to get the ring online right now because it just, yeah, I don't know. I just felt like getting the card draw going because, of course, we miss a land drop right now. So I'm gonna activate the ring and miss another land. It's pretty tough. Decide to play Synthesizer first to see if we can hit a land. Once again, Leyline of Lightning has to target. And we miss and decide to fire off March. And we have some ley lines, so we can definitely pitch some stuff to March to dig decently deep. And trying to figure out just how deep. I'm keeping one red mana open in case we don't find a land. And so at this point, decide just to bolt the Slick Shot Show Off, and we will be able to use Leyline of Lightning at this point, ding them for 1. And I was just really desperately trying to get that 4th land just to keep things going. Static Discharge is a problem, but opponent is going to get dinged by our Leyline of Combustion, so we have that going for us. Skewer the critics, and Leyline of Combustion is going to punish them again. It's doing a lot of work, but we fall to 5 off our 1 ring. And what do? One thing you have to pay attention to in this deck is that you have different kinds of exiles. Like some let you play, like Synthesizer lets you play until the end of your turn. The Red March lets you play until the end of your next turn. So like you have to keep track of your exile piles. Alright, so Chandra, Torch of Defiance. We gotta preserve our life total. I would decide to use the mana and slam a 1 ring to get that ring protection and just try and dig a little deeper. Because our existing ring is going to kill us insanely fast, especially against Burn. So resetting it and not activating the ring, probably not going to activate it so they don't like immediately kill us. So it's a precarious spot. The opponent's at 12, we're at 5. And yeah, gonna fire up Nykthos. Now what I'm trying to do right here is figure out how we can kill them like as soon as possible. Leyline of Lightning, of course, being super annoying. And it's sort of hard to math out like when you can and can't Leyline of Lightning sometimes, so it's just so annoying. We're gonna plus Chandra Awakened Inferno. Get the first emblem out there. Play second Nykthos. And just pass the turn. And keeping mana open in case we need to draw off the 1 ring and like try and spike something. The opponent's gonna shock us. Get dinged by Leyline of Combustion. Light up the stage. This could end it right now if they rip a bolt. And they rip another Light Up the Stage and a Static Discharge. Alright, so they're going to fire up the next Light Up the Stage. And if it was land bolt, basically there's any number of things they could have drawn to kill us right there. So by some miracle, we are alive at 3 life. Still, I didn't draw off 1 ring there because we did see they have 2 damage spells. So I didn't want to open up that as like a way to lose right now. So hanging on at 3 life because they might have a 2 damage spell in hand. All right. So the opponent has 2 big Chandra emblems on them now. We have a Leyline of Combustion in play, so if they target us, they're automatically taking 2. So we're going to fire up Nykthos. What I'm trying to do is just maximize the damage. So now we're going all in on Leyline of Lightning. After all that smack talk about how annoying it is, it's actually doing some work here. Now we have 2 Leyline of Lightning, so we can play it X equals 0 Spiteful Banditry to try and... You could see, like, winning this game, winning with this deck is absolutely ridiculous. Like, look at what we have to go through. So, like, yeah, we get a Leyline of Lightning kill. So you could see it's a very interesting deck, if not a very strong deck. Like, it's capable of winning, but it almost, like, battles against itself, like, with so many clunky cards, and, like, what it needs is some better early ways to develop devotion. Like, we would kill for something like Seal of Fire, you know, so if we need some more stuff like that. And then also the closers, like some of those games, like we were like ahead but didn't feel like we were ahead because it took so long to actually close out the game. And I've tried some other stuff, like at one point I was running Osier Oxano, trying to like use this to amplify the damage from like Leyline of Lightning and other stuff like that, but it just turns on opposing creature removal, and it never really worked out very well. And it's like legendary, anyway, just didn't really work in my experience. I tried some other stuff, but yeah, getting better closers and getting better early plays would help a lot. I do think there's potential. This is a deck to pay attention to as more like artifacts and enchantments that are red get printed. Be interesting to see if this ever gets anywhere. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you want to see even more nonsense, please consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for your support. Your engagement with the channel helps me know what the people want. Thank you.